Nancy Mace is a deeply troubled person, and I'm not even making a joke here. I am being fully serious that she has real problems, and those real problems are a real problem for Mike Johnson because Nancy Mace is out of control. She is a complete wild card. A new damning story from the New Yorker has outlined all of the scandals that have plagued her office that her staff is now leaking, and that is incredibly terrifying to a majority leader with a one vote majority considering some threats that Nancy Mace has made in the past. I want to get into this insane story about tequila and Airbnbs and hotness rankings and all the problems with Nancy Mace that are coming out from her own staff, mind you, and why it is driving Mike Johnson to panic. But it begins, as all Republican scandals do, with them deflecting before the story even comes out. If you want to know how guilty Nancy Mace is, just take a listen to her right here.
All the establishment is coming after me again. This time, New York Magazine is writing the next national hit piece against me. Apparently, if you don't take the advice of overpaid consultants, you need some kind of a diagnosis because you have an affliction. The whole thing is just sort of silly. But that's what the establishment does when you don't conform or follow their rules. And if I have enemies, good. They didn't lie. It means I've done something. It means I've stood for something. My values and my principles, and because I listen to you, the people. I don't listen to anybody else. I've never been a good old boy. I never will be. And doing the same thing we've always done is what got us into this mess.
Oh, it's the establishment coming after you? Okay, yeah, I really believe that. Anytime a Republican says the establishment is coming after them, or the insiders, or they become a Christian all of a sudden, which Nancy Mace referenced there when she said, oh, it's because I love Christ, whatever that means, you know it's bad. You know they're not beating the allegations. And Nancy Mace not only has the ones that we're going to get into that were leaked from her staff in this story, but there's also an ethics investigation into her currently ongoing that could bring criminal charges. That is a completely different story that we covered. This new one, just like take your seatbelt and like buckle up. It's about to get really weird. Strap in. This is a lot to process. Nancy Mace's ex-staffers reveal her bizarre tequila and hotness rankings demands. Rep. Nancy Mace's former staffers have revealed the Congresswoman was making wild demands in private long before she was having increasingly frequent public meltdowns. The South Carolina lawmaker would demand that staffers bring liquor to her home to keep her parties going well past midnight during her first term, behavior that technically constitutes an abuse of office under House rules, unnamed sources told New York Magazine. When I worked for her, our poor scheduler was getting calls at 2 o'clock in the morning to come bring her bottles of tequila, a former staffer told the magazine. Mace also had her staff create burner accounts to defend her from online criticism, something that's widely known, but this part isn't. She also did it to boost her hotness ranking on Reddit. The 48-year-old allegedly instructed a staffer to visit forums ranking the hottest women in Congress to boost her rating and comment multiple sources told the magazine. She was very adamant that the staffer upvote posts about her attractiveness, according to a former staffer. These allegations are so ridiculous they don't even merit a response, Mace's director of operations told the New York Magazine, which all but confirms it. I hope she sues you for every dime you got paid to write this defamatory bullshit. Yep, that seals the deal. In a video that we saw posted on Twitter ahead of the article, Mace called the story a hit piece. She said, as we saw, the establishment is coming after me. The allegations come as Mace, a Donald Trump loyalist who is running for governor of South Carolina, has become more erratic, and that's putting it lightly, in public. Last year, she accused her ex-fiancé, Patrick Bryant, 51, of assaulting her and engaging in a conspiracy to drug her, along with other women, during a speech on the House floor, which of course should be taken seriously. Bryant has denied the allegations and sued Mace for defamation, and we should wait to see how that plays out. During the government shutdown, she went on an expletive-laden tirade against police officers at the Charleston airport. Yeah, I think we can kind of make a judgment on this one. And earlier this month, she got in a yelling match with Democratic Rep. Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts during a House Oversight Committee meeting. Her former staffers say they're inclined to believe her accusations against Bryan, though they never saw anything untoward, but that they question her judgment and overall well-being. They said she drinks and uses marijuana excessively and that they were scared of her. She would make staffers cry, one unnamed former aide said. She would threaten to fire them, take their money away, not give them raises, not to give them days off, religious days, that is. They said she would also make her aides clean her properties that she rented out on Airbnb, including a $3.9 million home in the Isle of Palm, South Carolina, and her Washington townhouse instead of hiring a maid. It's a classic story of never meet your heroes, a different former aide said. So obviously we could make some jokes at the expense of Nancy Mace because this is all pretty crazy. But this is a deeply troubled person who should not be serving an elected office. And there's a lot of those in Congress. There's a lot more of those than you'd even realize. I am starting to realize. But Nancy Mace and the fact that she shouldn't be in Congress is something that really scares Mike Johnson, considering where his majority is at. House GOP's already fragile majority to further shrink after Democrats' ballot box victory in Texas, which leaves Mike Johnson with only a one-vote majority. Now, whenever we talk about Nancy Mace and how out of control she is, we have to remember that she previously had discussed retiring early from Congress with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who announced her resignation in November. The New York Times reported that the South Carolina Republican has told those around her she is frustrated with Mike Johnson and sick of the way he has run the House, primarily with how women have been treated these days. Nancy Mace is a complete wild card. There is no predicting what she might do in any given moment, especially as she is currently still running for governor of South Carolina. Now, that is a very crowded and competitive primary, one in which Donald Trump has not endorsed Nancy Mace. So I would say that things aren't looking perfect for her in terms of winning over the MAGA base, but this is an incredibly erratic person who is risking a safe Republican seat for a gubernatorial run that she has what looks like no legs in. And so would it surprise me that as more allegations come out, more scandals come out, and there's this House oversight investigation, this House ethics investigation, into Nancy Mace, would I be surprised if the resignation rumors that were very public and well reported, and then of course Mace said, those aren't true, it's not, I don't believe Nancy Mace. I don't believe anything that she says from second to second. She kind of swings back and forth a lot. Would I be surprised if she just call it quits? No, not at all. Would I be surprised if she did so in spite of Mike Johnson and Trump after not winning the primary for the gubernatorial race in South Carolina? No, absolutely not. Why would Nancy Mace, like the loose cannon that she is, angry with Donald Trump for not endorsing her, angry with Mike Johnson for how he treated her, not just say, screw you guys, I'm taking my ball home, and just like bouncing? I don't know. And that's the point. I don't know with Nancy Mace. And clearly neither does any of her staff. She just saw one of her top campaign aides resign earlier last month. So the race in South Carolina isn't going very well. Clearly her, party habits are the only thing that's seeing a lot of success. Also, to force your staffer to bring you tequila at 2 a.m. when like DoorDash exists. Also, how much tequila could you go through to not have you plan in advance? That's maybe the most damning indictment of Nancy Mace. If you ever run out of pizza or booze at a party, what are you doing? Unless like 50 extra people showed up, you stay stocked, Nancy. What is wrong with you? You have a little extra. You get a little extra. You have a little backup. No one ever complained about a couple backup slices, a couple backup sodas. You keep the fridge stocked. It's embarrassing. But on a real note, like Nancy Mace, I don't know what she's going to do. How could anyone? But there's resignations within her campaign. People are quitting her staff. She's threatened to quit. Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of laid a good path for you there. And if she ultimately just wants to go on to be I don't know what, a podcaster. She's not going to have this job. She's going to lose the governor's race. She's going to lose her primary. So she's not going to have this job. If she wants to make a big statement about how, the elites can't hold me down and the party can't hold me down and I'm breaking away, like, honestly, if she is the narcissistic and attention-seeking person that I think Nancy Mace is, it might be a smart play to be like, look at me, I'm resigning. You can't hold me down. The deep state, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised. And this was Mike Johnson with a 1-vote majority. So yeah, this is a nightmare for him that has all come out. It's a nightmare for Mike Johnson. And I don't know how he repairs this. Nancy Mace, better help. I wish I could do it. I wish I had a code for her. Can we get Nancy Mace 20% off on her first couple of sessions? My God, it's not good. But it's even worse when you look at the broader story for Republicans right now. Told by CNN's Harry Enton, the polling's not good.
That's exactly right. Texas 9, because what happened in Texas 9? It didn't just swing to the left, it took a rocket ship to the left. My goodness gracious, the Texas 9 Senate District election marches. This was a district that Donald Trump won by 17 points in 2024. The Democratic candidate in the special election on Saturday, won it by 14 points. That's an over 30-point shift to the left. Any Republican, unlike Ron DeSantis, who doesn't take this seriously, they should realize that this is very perilous. They ignore this result at their own peril. Ron DeSantis is right to say, hey, special elections can be quirky, but this ain't no quirk.
Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas basically told me, he said, no Democrat should ever win in North Texas like this. Although he also said, there was an ice storm, 31 points. That's not an ice storm.
No, that ain't no ice storm. If you ignore this, you're going to ice yourself out of a majority come the midterms.
All right, when we look at these special elections, and this is something you and I talk about a lot and look at very closely in between the federal elections, what can they tell us?
Okay, so you see this 31-point shift to the left, right? If this were just one election, that would be one thing. But it's the slew of special elections that together paint a picture, and it's a picture that Democrats should love and a picture that Republicans should be really worried about. Because what are we talking about here? Okay, the average 2025, 26 special election, Democrats are doing, get this, 12 points better. 12 points better than Kamala Harris did in 2024. That was a state special election that happened in Texas on Saturday. If you look at the federal special elections, this 12 points is actually north of 15 points on average. I was looking back through the history books. This looks a whole heck of a lot like what we saw during the 2017-2018 cycle, where you saw these Democrats outperforming how Hillary Clinton did in 2016. And what did it forecast? It forecast a net gain of 40 seats for Democrats.
Yeah, if this wasn't enough for Mike Johnson, then my God, that polling, these results, special elections, it's gotta hurt little Mike over there. And we're gonna keep covering it on this show. Nancy Mace, get some help. Mike Johnson, can't wait for you to lose your job. We're gonna keep on breaking down these stories. This was a weird one today. This was certainly a weird one, but we're gonna bring them all to you. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.